So, hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of Juan on One Coaching, where we believe we not only have the right to control our lives, we deserve to create them. This is episode 11, I think, or maybe 12. And I've been discussing my 5-step program and how I went to be fired once and being depressed about it, and then being fired again by the same department and be happy about it for totally different reasons, but it's because I found my way to do things. And one of the ways that helped me get there, go from depression to happiness, even if it was not necessarily a good outcome, being fired again, was this book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John Maxwell. And I figured I start talking about it because it's what helped me change my path. It's what helped me find myself. And I figured you might as well want to know about how I did it. So this is the way I did it. I keep saying repetition or experience doesn't make something better or doesn't make me better or great. It has to do with something else. And the best way I have to explain this is baseball. I played baseball. I shared this story on my origin episode. Said my dad wanted me to play sports, so I played baseball for about 9 years in a row. I almost played daily. It was 2 or 3 hours a day. If you do the math, that's maybe 8,000 to 9,000 hours if you count tournaments and practices and all these other things that are involved in it. And interestingly enough, I wasn't necessarily good. I was offered to play professionally, which is a good thing, but I wasn't really at my best. And what was interesting about this is that I was at my best 6 years later. It was after college. So right before going to college, I said I was going to try out. I said no to the professional baseball contract. I wanted to try out and play in college, and I turned out to pull a hamstring the first time and then almost tore my shoulder, my throwing shoulder, the second time. So I never really played in college. I got my education as my mom wanted me to, and I never played. And it wasn't until 2 years after I found my first job that I decided to go back to it. But this time around, I ended up developing my best swing and my best movement and my best motions, and it's after a 6-year gap. I wasn't practicing the same. I didn't have a coach teaching me something or telling me what to do, what to fix. Everything I did it by myself and with some help with some articles on the internet and stuff like that. But for the most part, I was just thinking about myself. And what made the difference is the first law of the book, the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, and that is the law of intentionality. Growth doesn't just happen. And the reason I think about this and I use baseball as the story is because there wasn't a much of a difference between what I did when I was 26, when I restarted my baseball career, if you want to call it. I was doing actually less practice. I was doing less drills and less stuff. Maybe I put in 200-300 hours of practice to find my best swing ever compared to the 9,000 I had before. And the biggest difference was I was intentional about taking specific action. I was practicing specific swings. I was thinking about what was the best way for me to swing, to set up my hands, to set up the bat, what felt best for me, and started ignoring everybody else's um, ideas or suggestions. I just figured out my way. I was intentionally looking for what worked for me and then started replacing the stuff that didn't help me. That's how I got from nothing, like having no practice at all or being mediocre with my swing, to then um, having a best swing ever, best batting averages, hitting home runs all over the place. And it was only with a couple hundred hours compared to the 9,000. So that was really like maybe 1 or 2 hours a week just for practicing versus the 2-3 hours a day I was doing before. So that's really the gist of the chapter. I'll probably cover some of the things that are mentioned in here, like the myth when we think about growth. But start thinking about where are you simply going through the motions. Just you might actually get faster at doing something. Maybe you get faster at walking or faster at typing and things like that. But you can be so much better and so much more efficient if you start intentionally acting, intentionally looking for something, have a goal, have a purpose, and take intentional action on getting there. Start reflecting on things, which is another law of the book. But for the most part, right now, focus on being intentional about something, even if it is failure. Even if you say, I want to fail at this X amount of times, and I'm going to intentionally look for ways to improve every single time. That's what's going to make you better. So that's my thought for today. Have a good one. Hopefully it helps. If you like it, share it, comment, let me know if you have other questions, feedback, and don't forget to subscribe and follow and do the other things that other people ask you to do when they do podcasts and blogs and things like that. Have a good one. I'll see you.